Do you remember where we met?
Yeah, we met at a Korean Christian Fellowship gathering. And I want to say that the RA of our dorm, he invited all of us to this gathering. And the main thing he said, which was really funny, was just like, you have to come, Leo, because there's so many beautiful Korean women here. And so that's why we decided to go. I've actually been to church before, but prior to that, growing up, Buddhist and kind of atheist, it was more like something fun to do. And so we went, and it was such a good time, and I got to meet you, and I think later on we really got to know each other at the library, because you would always be there.
Yes, and I don't actually recall meeting you. I know we first met at KCF, but my first recollection of you is at the library because our mutual friend had introduced us together. And that's where all of our kind of hangouts after that was, at the library, because I would go there to study, you would go there, pretend to study, and that's where we kind of had our conversations and started to become friends. And obviously through KCF, we did a lot of gatherings together as well.
Yeah, that's true. I just recall going into the library looking for you because, it was always so much fun to just chat with you and just be near you. It was always such a distraction to study because you were just so pretty.
Do you remember when you told me that you were going to marry me, like out of the blue? And I was like, who is this person? What is he talking about? And so we were friends for, I think, 4 or 5 years? Was it 4 or 5 years before we started to date?
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And the relationship in itself was so hard. Do you remember?
Yeah, because of your parents.
Because of my parents, and yeah. I had not dated at all. One boyfriend prior to you, and for me, college was, I'm here to study, I'm here to get my degree and find a profession. I'm not here to date anyone. And definitely I knew my parents wouldn't approve of you because you're not Korean. But I thought they would a little bit because you're Asian, at least. So that was shocking to me. Yeah. I mean, what was your impression of that?
Of your parents?
Yeah, my parents and their reaction towards you.
I think it was really hard because I think all Asian parents, at least in my parents and then all the Asian parents that I know, is they want their children to marry someone who is pursuing education, excellence, as well as a medical degree, or to be a lawyer, or something that brings in more money. And I think when I was in college, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And I think that was the hardest part. And so when your parents were wondering what my next steps were in college, I think that's when they decided, oh, we need to stop this, because we were dating at that time. And I remember one day you told me that they had set up a date for you with some guy from New Jersey, some dentist or some doctor or some lawyer, something like that. It was hard to kind of, think that, I would lose you to someone that was more educated,
It is hard, because we already, I don't know if I want to say struggle, but we already reflect and contemplate about our identity as Asian American person, especially here in Michigan, but then added layer of that kind of pressure and that kind of judgment from another Asian American person, your girlfriend's parents. That's really hard, and it was hard for me as well, because I was so fighting for our relationship, saying I don't have to marry a Korean, and why does it have to be a Korean person? And it wasn't until a little later that I did have empathy for my parents, knowing that it wasn't the Koreanness that they were seeking, but it was, I feel like they felt that me marrying a non-Korean would have them lose something else again when they've already lost so much, right? So meaning they were so badly wanting a connection with their possible son-in-law, right? Connection through language, connection through food, connection through culture. And so to not have that as a possibility, I think was possibly, you know, reliving immigration again. I don't know. That's just my feeling, you know, towards it, that it was more than just, oh, he's not Korean, you know?
Sure.
And so I think that's why I understood them. And that's why we broke up, right, for a while. But then we eventually got back together.
You can find more at onedetroitpbs.org or subscribe to our social media channels and sign up for our One Detroit newsletter.